All right, Mayor Lurie, thank you for being here. Got a couple too many microphones.
Thanks, Max. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? You all were very quiet listening to Ryan. You're a badass. It's an honor to meet you, Ryan.
Oh. All right. Well, Mayor Lurie, we're very honored to have you here. And I want to kind of dive right into kind of your big picture view for San Francisco. You're coming up on your 100 days here. In the tech world, we hear a lot about these kind of visions for a utopian tech-enabled future. You know, we've seen kind of on the right side with Mark Andreessen, he's kind of promoted this idea, but on the left as well, we've seen some people kind of promote this idea of we need a future where we can build. And we can build AI, we can build autonomous vehicles, we can do all these sorts of things. Do you think that San Francisco should be one of those cities leading the tech revolution, and how do you get them there?
I don't think we should. We are. I think, we're the home of AI. It all starts here in San Francisco, always has and always will. We got to lead not only on technology, but I believe on our arts and culture. But innovation is a core value of us here in San Francisco, and we should never shy away from that. We should lean into it. But we got to make sure and take care of people. We got to take care of our and protect our values that make San Francisco so special. And so I'm all in. And you started by saying left and right. What we need more of is people working together, coming together, and being, I say, common sense and practical. We sort of lost that here in San Francisco. So I believe that the business community here that has stayed here, that did not leave, understands our values, and we're going to attract businesses back in the coming years.
What are you doing to kind of tear down regulations that might make it difficult for businesses to be here? How are you attracting new businesses to come?
Well, first, let me just be very clear about our priorities. First, public safety. Nothing else matters if your employees or the entrepreneurs don't feel safe walking down the street. If our families, our elders, our children don't feel safe walking down the street. So we have to fully staff our police department, our sheriff's department, our 911 dispatch office, and that is a huge priority of mine, number one. Number two, the behavioral health crisis on our streets. We have far too many people struggling with addiction. We have 2 people a day dying of overdose in our city. Fentanyl has changed the game, and we didn't change, and we are changing now. We've pivoted how we are getting people off the street and into treatment. We're going to stand up 1,500 shelter beds, which includes mental health and drug treatment beds, and we're going to give people a choice of getting off the street. Right now, there's just not enough beds. And the third, to your question, is we have to let the world know that we're open for business and that we want business here, and we do. We want small business. We want our entrepreneurs starting businesses and then staying here. That means streamlining permitting, making it easier to start up a restaurant, a bar, a startup. We have a program called Permit SF. In the next few weeks, we're going to launch some streamlined permitting processes that we'll share with you in a few weeks. But we also have to build more housing. We have to make it more affordable. We just launched a map today. We're calling it family zoning, where we are going to build more housing in every neighborhood in this city. We haven't done a new zoning map since 1970. So we have a lot of work to do, but we are focused on clean and safe streets, addressing the behavioral health crisis. And then I'm a mayor that is picking up the phone and calling CEOs. I'm calling entrepreneurs and saying, how can we keep you here, or how can we get you back?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you've kind of ran on this, idea of common sense policies. And one of the things that you announced this week was that you're walking back the free distribution of these kind of drug paraphernalia things, that this program that cities had for a while. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I said it once, I'll say it again. 2 people a day are dying of overdose on our streets, in our hotels. What we're doing on that front is not working. Now, fentanyl really it is unlike anything we have seen. It is so powerful in such a small quantity that we were caught flat-footed as a city 4-5 years ago, and we have not pivoted until now. And so what we are saying is we want you coming inside and sitting down with a clinician, a case manager, someone that knows how to talk to somebody and say, hey, there's a better way. There's an option for treatment and get you on a path to recovery. Right now, we have been just handing out supplies without attaching it to services. It's not working. Now, we are going to continue with Narcan, which does reverse overdose and has saved thousands, if not tens of thousands of lives. Needle exchange works. That is proven. So we are sticking with evidence-based practices. But the evidence, to me, is that 2 people a day are dying of overdose. We have to shift course, and that's what this week was about, that announcement.
Right. I mean, that is, definitely one of your first priorities as mayor. That's been clear. But it also is just something that I think appeals to a lot of people here who have left because of the drug problems and the homelessness problems. But of course, all these policies come with, there were people who implemented these policies to begin with and thought they were a good idea. Can you talk about why this is just really not the right approach?
Well, I think, listen, people who have come before had good intentions, but good intentions stacked on good intentions stacked on good intentions, and they become outdated when it comes to permitting policy or CEQA, environmental review, to the point of it is much easier to say no to housing than it is to say yes to housing. So we have instances of policies, good policies, but you stack them up on each other, and then we can't get out of our own way. And it takes 7 years and $1.1 million to build 1 unit of housing. Something's gone off the rails. And so we've gone off the rails on many fronts. And so we are going back, and we are, to what you said before, common sense. We're leading with services on the drug front. We're leading with empathy. But we also have to remember, on the drug front, it's not just about the people struggling with addiction on the street. It's also about the families. It's about our children who are getting on the Muni bus stop at 16th and Mission and seeing someone passed out in front of them or openly smoking fentanyl. Like, that is not okay in my world. I see people sleeping underneath umbrellas this morning, a block from my kid's school. Like, I went up and talked to the person. I said, how do we get you off the street? He had been on the street for 14 years. Yesterday, the police detail that is with me all the time, that allows me to go up and talk to people, which I'm doing multiple times a day. We got somebody who is 54 years old. He said he was struggling with something in his leg. We got him to the hospital. The doctor said the guy had the largest hernia he has ever seen in his career. Like, we have people suffering on our streets, and just allowing them to suffer is not helping them, and it's not helping our families that are trying to get their kids to school each day. So the policies may have had good intentions, but they've led us down a road where we see suffering on our streets, and we got to shift, and that's what we're doing.
Right. I mean, just from the business angle here, I mean, that is one key to getting kind of business back to the city, which can drive a lot of other good kinds of growth. But another kind of key part of this is it's very expensive to build in San Francisco. It's a very expensive place. Have you considered, can you just share how you're thinking about giving tax cuts to businesses that want to be in the city?
Well, housing or businesses?
Building businesses. Sorry, businesses specifically.
Business.
We can talk about housing after.
Listen, I think we have to get competitive on the tax front. We're never going to win, whether you're in San Francisco or California. We're never going to win on taxes. But we got to be in the ballpark, because we win on everything else. If we have clean and safe streets, if we get our behavioral health crisis under control, if we allow housing to get built more quickly and create more affordable housing, and affordable housing for at all income levels, and an abundance of housing, then businesses want to be here. I mean, look at OpenAI, look at Anthropic, look at Databricks. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, people would die. Every mayor on the planet would love to have the business infrastructure and an ecosystem and that we have here in San Francisco. There's no better place. Now, we have once again lost our way. We're not competitive with San Jose. We're not competitive with South San Francisco or Brisbane on the tax front. So we have to, we can raise taxes all we want, but 30% tax rate of zero if everybody leaves 4 miles is zero. So we forgot that. We have a board of supervisors that gets it. You have a mayor that gets that. We're going to get competitive, but it first starts with clean and safe streets, and then I think business is going to come rushing back. They already are. We won Databricks business to keep their conference here through 2030. They were going to Las Vegas. We worked hard to keep them. JP Morgan Healthcare Conference, they were thinking about leaving. We did such a good job that Jamie Dimon said, we're coming back again next year. We did a great job on the NBA All-Star Game. We got Super Bowl 60. We got World Cup. This city is on the rise, and we want your business here.
And as these businesses come back to the city, how do you want them to invest in the city?
Thank you. I didn't know you'd ask a question like that. That is like that. At Tipping Point, the organization I came from, we always said we need you kind of like embedded in our city and in our region. I think a great, very tech-forward company that is not often thought this way, although if you're in this room, you'll think it, Visa. Visa was not super engaged in San Francisco until 7-8 years, except they're a homegrown San Francisco company. And they started investing through Tipping Point, and now they're doing so much, and they're building, just south of Oracle Park, and they are all in on San Francisco. Ryan, their CEO, he's awesome. Oliver Jenkins, their president, awesome. They get it. We want companies that are investing in our arts and culture organizations, in our public schools, like Salesforce has done for so long. OpenAI and Sam Altman has talked about how they're investing in arts and culture, and he's like, we've done it quietly. I'm like, get loud about it. I want all of you here, but I want you also helping not only to rebuild San Francisco, but to take us to levels that we've never been before. And we have companies that go way back, throwing out Levi's or Gap, or companies that Richard Dixon, the head of Gap, is all in on San Francisco now, bringing Zach Posen, this creative director. We have companies that get it. Salesforce gets it. Databricks gets it, and OpenAI, they get it too. So what I want them is investing in all of those areas, arts and culture, that make our city so dynamic.
Yeah, you've mentioned OpenAI several times now. Sam Altman was on your transition team. He's also part of this kind of consortium that you have that I want to ask you about. You have a consortium of kind of big tech executives. Sam Altman is one of them. There's also Johnny Ive, which is a famous Apple designer. Lorraine Powell Jobs, which is Steve Jobs. Can you talk to me a little bit about what do you ask these people? It's maybe specifically, what do you talk to Sam Altman about?
So the partnership for San Francisco that is chaired by Ruth Porat and Lorraine Powell Jobs, Catherine August DeWild. We have 3 just incredible women leading this organization. We just launched. We just had our first set of meetings over the past week. It was amazing. CEO of UCSF, the CEO of the San Francisco Giants. It's not just a tech group. It's a business roundtable that is there not to support my administration, but to support San Francisco. And they get what we get, and that is that not only are we on the rise, but we need their involvement. And it came from an idea that in New York that started in the 1970s, the Partnership for New York City, and it has still played a huge role during New York's boom and bust that they've experienced. And mayors have been able to call on them, and it allows the business community to speak more with a singular voice instead of what has been going on for the last 10 or 15 years in our city, which is like this CEO kind of goes this direction and that CEO goes that direction. There hasn't been a group that has really come together like this one. So that there's a lot of power in that room. There, I think there's 27, 28 CEOs and business leaders, and it was really exciting to see. And they're not there for their business interests. They're there to make San Francisco, a place that other companies and businesses want to be at. And by the way, they express some of the same frustrations that we've heard. And so they're going to be able to tell us what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what's preventing them from growing their businesses here, recruiting talent here, and we'll be able to be responsive.
I mean, I'll ask again. What does Sam Altman tell you at these meetings? He's an important guy. He doesn't give his time to everyone, but you are
true.
important as well. So.
Sam didn't make this one.
Okay.
So he didn't say, and to be honest, this first meeting was me kind of given kind of the first what's going on in San Francisco. Then they had their meeting without me. I stayed for part of it, and then they met without me. This is not a mayor's roundtable. It's a partnership for San Francisco. It's not about them being there for me. It's about them being there for the city.
Got it. That makes sense. And we'll forgive Sam. I think he has a new kid that was just born.
That's right.
So,
That's why.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Makes sense.
It's on dad duty.
So I want to ask you about another kind of topic that's very in your face when you come to San Francisco in the world of tech. It's autonomous vehicles. It's the Waymos that you see riding all over this place.
Yep.
I want to kind of ask, how many Waymos, how many autonomous vehicles is too many autonomous vehicles?
It's a good question. I'm a fan of Waymo. I think Google has been a great partner to the city. I just went to the Ruth Asawa exhibition opening last night. Google made a $1.5 million contribution to that exhibit. It is a icon of San Francisco. That is, a corporate partner that we need more of. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but they've been a very good partner, good actor. They're working very collaboratively with our DPW, with SFMTA, with our fire department, understanding safety issues, and so we continue to develop a good working relationship with them.
I mean, a big part about autonomous vehicles is that there's a lot of permits involved in creating these things. Would you consider ever kind of scaling back the regulatory pressures that are facing them to get more of this industry booming here?
Well, we've talked to other companies about it. We want them here. We want them to. We want to have guardrails in. They understand that, and so all I'll say is we're working really closely with them on it. We get their data, and we have a close working relationship. They're working closely once again with SFMTA, with DPW, with Fire, with SFPD, and as long as they're being very responsive, we're going to do just fine.
And I mean, a big thing that just happened for Waymo is that they just got a permit to start mapping out the airport, SFO, which is, a huge potential business for them to take people to and from the airport. But I wanted to ask you, as you consider these kind of, bigger expansions around autonomous vehicles, like, would you ever consider, changing city infrastructure to make way for them? Maybe like a designated, part at the airport to kind of pick people up, or popular tourist attractions. I mean, how much have you thought about kind of, building the city for these autonomous vehicles? Because you see them everywhere.
I think, once again, I'm going to go back to the first question. I want us to be the home of innovation. And that means that we have to be open to different things. We are building, with our zoning map that we put out today, and that will be discussed over the summer. We want to plan for the future, and that includes whether it's AI, whether it's AV. We know that that's where the future is going, and we are open to it. And we will work with those companies. We will make sure we put protections in for our residents, but I'm excited to partner with companies like Waymo, like Google, to build the future and make sure it's safe for everybody.
And obviously, I mean, there have been a few incidents that I've reported on in San Francisco where people put cones on top of these autonomous vehicles. Some people have slashed tires of these Waymos and whatnot. And I think for some people, they really represent kind of job loss, and they represent kind of what the tech industry has done to San Francisco. What's your response to those people who are worried about maybe losing jobs to something like an autonomous vehicle?
So, with the airport, we worked and had conversations with labor around it, and labor is an important part to the future of our city. So they are at the table having these discussions, and so the mapping at SFO, we talked about not just with Waymo, but with other concerned parties and interested parties, and interested in San Francisco being successful, and so
what was your message to those labor parties that you talked with?
We talked and we worked out deals, and now I'm excited that they'll be mapping SFO. But let me be very crystal clear. Waymo is not going anywhere. I want them here. I want them succeeding. I've been told by a few different sources that they're like one of the top tourist attractions in San Francisco. People have great experiences in them. I have a great SFPD taking care of me, so I'm not able to get in them as much as I was before. So, but we are going to work with all interested parties. No one should be doing anything illegal, like you were mentioning. That there's a lot of reasons for us to fight each other, and there's a lot of divisiveness out there everywhere right now. And my ethos and the way I lead is I want to bring people together. And what you're seeing at the Board of Supervisors with our fentanyl state of emergency ordinance, we had a 10-1 vote, giving us more power to treat this crisis with the urgency that it demands. We had a 9-1 vote on the Board of Supervisors to convert more office to residential, up to 7 million square feet, so we can do that quickly. It was a 9-1 vote. What you are seeing in San Francisco is really a new day of cooperation, of collaboration. We understand people are going to be on different sides of issues, but when you bring people together, you get some consensus. We're not always going to agree. Supervisors are not always going to agree with me, and we can disagree one day and then work together on the next issue. These issues that you're bringing up about these incidents, they're also isolated. And I don't want to give too much credence to those, because this city has a new spirit, and there is a new sense of hope and optimism that we haven't seen for many years, and I'm going to keep leaning into that.
Well, I appreciate that effort. I think we probably have time for one or two more quick questions here. I'm not sure if anyone wants to raise a hand. Yeah, sure. Right up front here. It's a microphone coming around.
Really enjoyed your talk, and I'm super energized about the turnaround plans for San Francisco. Excited to bring my family up here from the peninsula more often now that I feel safe.
Great.
So thank you. The question I have is, you come from a business background, and I'm curious, what are some of the things specifically that you've learned from your business background that you're implementing here in running San Francisco, sort of as it's more of an efficient, with more efficiency rather than as a government which is known as to be more inefficient?
Yeah. Well, I think just in the structure of how we've set up our office is different. I really respected how Mayor Bloomberg led his team when he was mayor. I also looked to Dianne Feinstein as a role model of mine in terms of how she got out of her car every single day. We're getting out of our car every single day and talking to people, like really being on the ground, understanding what's going on. But what we did differently, the previous administrations, plural, you had one chief of staff, and we now have 58 departments, 58 people reporting into one chief of staff. We have 4 chiefs now that are overseeing anywhere, from 16, 17 departments to, 20. And so we have 4 leads, essentially, 4 chiefs. And that has allowed more collaboration and communication between, our, Ned Siegel, who's housing and economic development, has 18 departments not reporting to him, but working with him. And so he's able to get them talking to each other. We had our first meeting the day after I was sworn in. 58 departments were all around the table, and then Ned had a meeting with 18 departments after that meeting. Many of those people had never met each other. Okay? Like, how are you supposed to collaborate and communicate? Today we had the same 58 people. They're seeing each other in the room. They're talking to each other. And we have a weekly staff meeting of our large departments every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Also, had not been done. So we're sharing, we're talking to each other. And then one more example, we had 9 different outreach teams to go out and meet with people that are, you know, struggling with addiction or homeless on the street. 9 different teams reporting to 5 different departments. We now have neighborhood outreach teams. So there's one number to call on the mission, one number to call for the Tenderloin, and we're going to build out 5 neighborhood teams and 1 citywide outreach team, reporting into one Department of Emergency Management. So that type of, it sounds pretty straightforward, I imagine, to many of you in this room. It wasn't at City Hall. It is now.
Cutting through the bureaucracy. I think we got one more.
Hey, Mayor, thank you so much. My question's pretty straightforward, but hopefully you can be candid at the end. So what does San Francisco look like when you're done leading our city? And what's the biggest roadblock that you think would be in the way to get there?
I think, first off...
Thanks again.
Of course. I hope I've been candid the whole time. So I'll be candid at the end, too. Let me be candid about one thing, so you all know this. I love my job. It was funny. Ryan was sitting here talking about his job and whether or not he could be in it for long. Like, I'll be good with 8 years. I don't need to go 30 or 40 more years. 8 years is good, but I love my job. I am out on the streets talking to people every single day because what I want, I think what we need to get to is a place where all of those departments are out doing the same thing, and that you can't get this job done behind a desk or, you know, just at openings and behind a podium. You gotta be out and feeling what's going out on the streets, and I think we're doing a good job, and I need everybody who works with me to do that to get to where we want to go. And where we're going is a city that is the safest city in America, that is the cleanest, that is leading on climate, that is leading on energy, that is leading on arts and culture, that is a place that every business, every entrepreneur, every innovator says, I have to either be headquartered here or I have to have a presence in San Francisco. If I don't, I'm missing out. Right now, people are like, by the way, there's a lot of people coming back. There's a lot of energy heading back to San Francisco, but they're sort of like, okay, do I believe it or not? It's only been a few months. But the good vibes are starting to roll. But when we're done, everyone's going to be like, I got to be in San Francisco. Otherwise, I'm missing out. That's where we're going. And right now, I'm really, really focused on the basics because I believe that if we in government can do the basics, the rest of you, our arts and culture leaders, you all will take care of the rest, and we will once again be the greatest city in the world.
All right. That's our time. So thank you very much,
Thank
Mayor
you
Lurie.
all very much.